My brothers and sisters, have you ever wondered why sometimes we work so hard, but the blessings just don't seem to be there? Why does it feel like our day slips away so quickly without barakah? One of the secrets lies in what we do right after Fajr. Sabiyan Allah, the Prophet, prayed for blessings in the early mornings for this ummah. Yet many of us go straight back to sleep and lose out on that barakah, the spiritual strength and the opportunities Allah places in those hours. Today, let's remind ourselves of the hidden treasures we are missing when we sleep after Fajr. One of the greatest secrets of success and blessings in life lies in how we begin our mornings. Islam, being a complete way of life, has guided us not only in matters of worship, but also in matters of health, wealth, and productivity. Among these teachings is the emphasis on staying awake after Fajr and making the most of those precious early morning hours. The Prophet prayed for Barakah, blessing in the mornings of his ummah, which makes this time unlike any other. When a person ignores this guidance and sleeps right after Fajr, he unknowingly shuts the doors to many blessings in his sustenance, Rizq. The Prophet's dua for morning blessings in Sunan al-Tamidi, it is narrated that the Prophet said, "O Allah, bless my ummah in their early mornings." This supplication is a clear sign that the hours after Fajr carry special divine blessings. It is a time when Allah places barakah in business, work, study, and daily efforts. Many of the early Muslims understood this and would begin their journeys, businesses, or learning immediately after Fajr. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal used to say that the early hours are full of blessings for those who seek knowledge and provision. Sleeping at this time means depriving oneself of the very dua of the Prophet. The connection between rizq and morning effort in Islam. Rizq is not just about how much money one earns. It also refers to health, peace of mind, knowledge, time, and family blessings. The early hours after Fajr are naturally the most productive. Our minds are fresh, our bodies are rested, and our environment is calm. Scientists today even prove that the brain functions at its peak in the early morning. When we utilize this time, our efforts carry more weight and Allah places special barakah in them. But when we oversleep, we lose both productivity and divine blessings, which can lead to struggles in rizq. Examples from the pious predecessors, the righteous predecessors, Salaf valued the time after Fajr as sacred. Sayyiduna Omar ibn al-Khattab would go around Medina after Fajr to ensure the needs of the people were met. Many scholars like Imam al-Shafi'i Bisa would dedicate this time to teaching, learning, and writing. Their barakah was such that they accomplished in one lifetime what seems impossible for us today. This was not because they had more hours in the day, but because they used the most blessed hours properly, losing rizq by sleeping after Fajr. When one sleeps after Fajr unnecessarily, without need, like sickness or extreme fatigue, he misses several opportunities. Lost time is the most valuable form of rizq. Sleeping after Fajr wastes the most precious hours of the day. Loss of barakah in work, any business or job started late, loses the blessing of the Prophet's dua. Loss of spiritual rizq, Quran, recited at Fajr is witnessed by Engels, Surah al-Isra. Sleeping makes one miss this spiritual nourishment. Loss of physical health. Doctors say oversleeping after sunrise disrupts body rhythms and leads to laziness. Indirectly affects one's earnings and productivity. Thus, sleeping after Fajr not only blocks spiritual rizq but also material rizq in subtle ways. Balance and exceptions. Islam is a religion of balance. It is not haram to sleep after Fajr, but it is discouraged if it becomes a habit that robs one of barakah. If a person works night shifts, is ill, or has a genuine need, sleeping may be permissible and even necessary, but making it a daily lifestyle without reason is a cause of deprivation. Practical steps to benefit from morning barakah: stay in dhikr after Fajr, engage in remembrance of Allah until sunrise as mentioned in authentic hadith, and then pray 2 rakat of ishraq for immense reward. Start your work early, whether business, study or chores, begin them after Fajr to attract barakah. Make dua in the early hours. Duas made in the quiet of the morning are more sincere and accepted. Plan your day after Fajr, setting intentions and goals. At this time aligns your efforts with divine blessing. The loss of barakah in rizq by sleeping after Fajr is not always visible immediately. It appears in subtle ways. A person may earn a lot but still feel emptiness, or have time but no productivity, or possessions but no peace. This is the absence of barakah. On the other hand, even little wealth earned in the blessed hours can stretch, nourish, bring contentment because Allah has placed His blessing in it. The Messenger of Allah gave us a golden key to success by praying for barakah in the mornings. To ignore this key is to lock ourselves out of Allah's treasures. Truly, the one who values the time after Fajr, stays awake, remembers Allah, starts his daily efforts, then will find his sustenance blessed in ways he never imagined. One of the most overlooked secrets of Fajr prayer and the early morning hours is the spiritual strength and untinted light that Allah places in the hearts of those who remain awake in His remembrance. When a believer prays Fajr and then stays awake engaging in Quran, dhikr or reflection, his heart is illuminated and strengthened against the temptations of shaytan. On the other hand, if a person sleeps away these moments, he loses the chance to acquire that divine light and inner strength. This loss is far greater than missing worldly opportunities. It is the loss of a spiritual treasure that guides one's entire day. Quranic emphasis on Fajr and its light elements in the Quran, the special importance of Fajr, they establish the prayer at the declining of the sun until the darkness of the night, and the recitation at dawn. Indeed, the recitation at dawn is ever witnessed. So Surah Al-Isra 1778, the word mashnasa, witness, it means that the angels of Allah witnessed the Quran recited at Fajr. This shows the greatness of this time. Reciting Quran at Fajr plants a divine light in the heart, witnessed and recorded by the angels. Whoever sleeps and misses this recitation misses the light of the angels' testimony. This light is not physical. It is a clarity, a guidance, and a strength of faith that directs one throughout the day. The role of spiritual strength in daily life. Spiritual strength is what helps a believer fight desires, resist temptations, and remain steadfast in faith. Without it, the heart becomes weak and easily swayed by worldly distractions. The Prophet A said, "The difference between the one who remembers Allah and the one who does not is like the difference between the living and the dead." Sahih al-Bukhari. When a person engages in remembrance after Fajr, his heart becomes alive and strengthened with faith. But when he sleeps instead, his heart becomes dull and deprived of this life, giving nourishment. This spiritual weakness shows later in the form of laziness in prayers, lack of focus in worship, and susceptibility to sins. The Noor of Fajr and its protection, it is authentically narrated that the Prophet said, "Give glad tidings to those who walk to the masjid in the darkness of a great light on the day of judgment." Sunan Abi Dawud, Ibn Majid. The early morning prayer and wakefulness after it are a source of light in the hereafter. This nantar is not only in the next life, it begins in this world. It manifests as clarity of thought, peace of mind, and a heart that feels closer to Allah. People who protect their Fajr and stay awake in remembrance often testify that their entire day becomes lighter, easier, and more productive. On the contrary, those who fall back into sleep often feel heaviness, laziness, and confusion throughout their day. Examples from the righteous, the pious predecessors, Salaf placed immense value on the time after Fajr. Ibn al-Qayyim, A.T. Abisa, mentions that staying awake after Fajr until sunrise strengthens the heart and soul, giving it a brightness that remains for the rest of the day. Scholars like Imam and Nawawi, Tivizo Divivila, would dedicate this time to teaching and writing. They considered their productivity and spiritual strength to be directly tied to their early morning discipline. One scholar famously said, "We used to recognize a man's closeness to Allah by how he looked after Fajr. If he was among those who remained in worship, his face would shine with light. Losing the Noor by sleeping away Fajr. When a person makes it a habit to sleep after Fajr without necessity, he loses. The light of Qur'an angels witness the recitation of Quran at dawn. Missing this deprives the heart of angelic companionship. The energy of dhikr, remembering Allah after Fajr, energizes the soul. Without it, one feels spiritually drained. The protection of du'as made in the early morning are more powerful and serve as shields for the day. Sleeping causes one to miss this armor. The witness of angels, staying awake in remembrance keeps a person's deeds recorded with honor. Sleeping leaves the page empty. This loss of spiritual light is far more dangerous than the loss of worldly barakah. Without spiritual light, a person may have wealth, health, and time, but he feels an emptiness in the heart and a weakness in faith. Balance and mercy in Islam. Islam does not prohibit sleeping after Fajr if one has a valid reason, such as working all night, illness, or urgent needs. However, making it a daily routine and neglect robs one of spiritual treasures. The Sunnah encourages remembrance until sunrise, praying 2 rak'ahs of shirk, and then engaging in beneficial pursuits. Practical ways to gain spiritual light: recite Quran after Fajr. Even a small portion daily plants light in the heart. Engage in dhikr, say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar abundantly. Make dua for the day, seek protection, barakah, and guidance for all affairs. Pray Israq 2 rak'ahs after sunrise, bring immense reward. Like a complete Hajj and Umrah, the hours after Fajr are not ordinary. They are filled with divine light and strength. By sleeping them away, a believer deprives himself of spiritual clarity and the nur that shields him from evil. Those who value this time find their hearts glowing with faith, their minds clearer, and their lives filled with tranquility. The one who preserves the light of Fajr will find his path illuminated in this world and on the day when all other lights are extinguished. Truly, the greatest loss is not in wealth or status. It is in missing the nur of the heart that comes only through staying awake with Allah after Fajr. The hours after Fajr are among the most blessed moments of the day. They are filled with divine mercy, clarity, and opportunities that can shape the life of a believer in both dunya and akhirah. Islam encourages us to stay awake after Fajr because it is a time when hearts are most receptive to guidance and minds are most capable of productivity. However, when someone makes it a habit to sleep immediately after Fajr, he unknowingly closes the doors to these opportunities. The result is a life where guidance feels distant, laziness creeps in, true productivity is lost. The morning as a time of guidance, Allah created the morning as a natural symbol of clarity and renewal. After the darkness of night, the dawn breaks with light. Similarly, after Fajr, a believer's heart is ready to absorb divine guidance. Allah swears by the dawn in the Qurans, by the dawn and by the 10 nights. So Surah Al-Fajr 89 in 122, this shows the sacredness of early morning. It is a time when Allah opens hearts to understanding His signs. Staying awake allows one to reflect, study the Quran and make dua, which plants seeds of guidance in the heart. Sleeping during this time, on the other hand, means turning away from that divine opening. Fajr and productivity in the Sunnah. The Prophet made a special dua for Barakah in the morning of his Ummah. O Allah, bless my Ummah in their early mornings. So Tirmidhi, this hadith indicates that the hours after Fajr carry special productivity. The early Muslims understood this well. They would start their work, studies or journeys immediately after Fajr so that they could capture these blessings. Imam al-Shafi'i Tiza Diftisir and Imam Ahmad Tizida both used to emphasize that their most productive hours were after Fajr. Sleeping during these hours is like rejecting the Prophet's dua of blessing and entering the day with emptiness instead of energy. Lost opportunities of the mind. Modern research also confirms what Islam has taught for centuries. The human brain is most alert and creative in the morning. Memory retention, focus, and problem-solving abilities are at their peak after waking up early. By sleeping after Fajr, a person wastes the time when his mind could have been used for study, reflection, or creative work. This lost opportunity accumulates over years, creating a life of wasted potential. Many who achieve greatness, whether in knowledge, business, or creativity, owe it to their discipline of early mornings. Guidance in Quran and Dhikr, the Quran specifically mentions the recitation of Fajr as being witnessed. Indeed, the recitation at dawn is ever witnessed. So Surah Al-Isra 17 and 78 here, the angels bear witness to the Quran recited at this time, which brings unique guidance and tranquility to the heart. Those who stay awake after Fajr to recite Quran receive this angelic companionship and insight into Allah's words. But those who sleep immediately lose a chance to feed their soul with divine light. Missing this opportunity regularly can leave a person feeling spiritually lost or disconnected, even if he performs other acts of worship. Missed productivity in worldly affairs. Productivity is not only about worship, but also about dunya-related tasks. The farmer who begins his work after Fajr, the student who revises in the morning, the business person who plans early, all of them experience Allah's blessing in their efforts. Those who sleep, however, start their day late, rushed, and disorganized. This not only reduces efficiency but also removes the special barakah that makes small efforts bear big results. Many people complain about lack of success or constant struggle, yet they waste the very hours when Allah promised blessings. The habit of laziness, sleeping after Fajr, cultivates laziness. A person who sleeps in those hours often wakes up late, groggy and unmotivated, sets a negative tone for the entire day. In contrast, staying awake establishes discipline, energy and positivity. This difference might seem small on a single day, but becomes huge over a lifetime. The one who stays awake after Fajr, a life of accomplishment and barakah, while the one who sleeps develops a life of missed chances and wasted time. Balance and exceptions. Islam, however, remains a religion of balance. Sleeping after Fajr is not haram, and for those with genuine reasons like night workers, travelers or the sick, it is even necessary. But for the average believer with no excuse, turning Fajr into a time of laziness is a cause of deprivation. Allah gives opportunities daily, and wasting them deliberately is like rejecting His gifts. Practical ways to capture guidance and productivity. Recite Quran after Fajr. Even 15 minutes daily transforms the heart with divine guidance. Engage in dhikr, fill the morning with tasbih and istighfar to strengthen the soul. Plan the day, write down goals and tasks after Fajr to maximize productivity. Start work or study, begin worldly efforts early to attract both success and barakah. Pray as Riku, remaining awake until after sunrise, and praying 2 rakahs earns immense reward. Conclusion, sleeping after Fajr without need is not just about missing an hour of the day. It is about missing doors to guidance, angelic companionship, productivity and divine blessings. The early morning is a gift from Allah, wrapped with barakah and light. Those who value it walk through life with clarity, discipline and success. Those who ignore it struggle with wasted time, laziness and lack of direction. Truly, the opportunities of guidance and productivity that slip away after Fajr are treasures lost forever unless one wakes up and seizes them before they vanish.